Hey, what's up guys, it's Jesus here with the Van Bros, and today we're going to be doing a deck profile on D Premium Diablo. This is one of my favorite decks from back in the day when we started getting legend decks. Really great product to get people into the game back in the day, and it's kind of sad to see Bushiroad hasn't kept up with something similar to it. We have Stride deck sets and we have the Master deck sets coming out, but I don't know, it just doesn't feel like the legend decks from back in the day, as well as with the main booster set synergy that came along with it. But D Premium is basically just premium without V series cards or the erratas that give units markers. So think of it as a format with no markers, no over trigger, just premium or just G era cards and D era cards. To start off, we're going to start with Full Battle Diablo. He's our forerunner, he's our starter, and he has a really good skill. When he's retired, for the cost of a unit's ability, and you have a Vanguard with Blaster, you can call up to one card with Blaster Dark in its name from deck to rear, and then you just shuffle the deck. So really good starter, and really good for battle phase combos. We run 3 copies of Blaster Dark Diablo. What Blaster Dark Diablo does is that when you would stride, if you're striding into a blaster, the cards in your hand get grade +3, so they automatically become, any card in your hand becomes a stride fodder. And then if you would specifically stride into Phantom Blaster Diablo, then you can retire a rear guard from your for free, pretty much. Pretty good card, but very dated. Not the strongest stride skill. That's why we run Vortimer. So Vortimer is really good. When he's placed, you may pay the cost, which is a Counter Blast and Soul Blast, to search for a grade 1 card and call it. So really good. He tutors out a grade 1 from deck. Then when he would stride into a Diablo, you may pay the cost, which is to retire one of your rear guards, to search your deck for a grade 1 card, call it, and then if you strode into Spectral specifically, the called unit gets 3,000 power, and you also get to call an additional grade 1. So really good. So this guy can call up to 3 grade 1s if you stride and place them at the same time. The only downside is that he himself is not a blaster, so you'll want to be on Blaster Dark Diablo mainly, but Vortimer is actually really good as well on his own. Then we run 1 copy of Death Spray Dragon. He's good because during your battle phase, you counter blast one and you retire one of your rear guards, and then he retires one of your opponent's rear guards. So the reason why we do this is because you want to retire as much as you can from your opponent's side of the field, so that if you are on Phantom Blaster Diablo, they're forced to G guard. They can't call cards from hand, which is pretty strong. Then we run 3 copies of the D series Blaster Dark. On place, you can counter blast 1, retire one of your units, and he has Twin Drive until the end of the turn. That's both on Vanguard and Rearguard Circle. He has a Rearguard Circle skill where he'll gain 3,000 power, oh no, 5,000 power if you retire a unit during your turn. Then we run 4 copies of Claudna. Claudna, she lets Blaster Dark perform drive checks if she's retired by a unit with Blaster, by your Blaster Vanguard. Not only that, but Blaster Dark retires itself at the end of the turn if she does give him the skill to be able to perform Twin Drive during as a rear guard. It's not really Twin Drive, he could just perform drive checks, but he has to discard a card from hand in order to do it. Then we run 4 copies of Daedra. She's really good. She searches the whole deck. Except for Claudna, she pretty much searches for all your Shadow Paladin cards. So she's really good. When she attacks, she's a 20k attacker. So there's really good card. We run 4 copies of Hoel. Hoel is good. He has a Generation Break 1 skill. If you have a Vanguard with Diablo, you choose one of your Vanguards, and that unit and this unit get 3,000 power until end of turn. Whenever a grade 1 is placed, it's an auto skill, so that means it stacks every time you call a grade 1. So good. So he's the reason why you get a lot of power gain during your turn. Then if the unit called specifically is Caden, then you soul charge 1 and counter charge 1. Really good. Speaking of, we have Caden here as well. So Caden has this skill that when he's placed in the drop zone for the cost of an ability, if you have a Vanguard with Diablo in its name, you choose up to one of your Vanguards, and until the end of turn, it gets 5,000 power. And it also gains the skill that when the attack hits a Vanguard, search your deck for a grade 1 card, call it to rear, shuffle, and if the unit named, if there is a unit named, Hoel on your rear, then the unit called also gains 5k. So these guys work off of each other, but he extends the battles that you can perform. Really good. Then we run 3 copies of Charon. Charon counts as 2 retires if you have a Vanguard with Blaster in its name, and you're performing, you're retiring. The cool thing is that it counts as 2 whenever you're retiring for specific strides, and it says, oh, you need to retire, that your opponent retires as much as you retire, or when it counts towards the amount of retires that you're doing, this unit also counts towards that. It always counts as 2, which is really nice. When he's placed on rear, you choose a grade 3 and reveal it, and then you can search your deck for a grade 3 card with Blaster Dark in its name. So it's good because it's kind of like the stride fodder technically, so it searches out your Blaster Dark. And then we run the best PG, which is 4 copies of Ezra's. Ezra's in G series was a menace because it's literally just a PG that just cycles. It retires a copy of itself, puts another copy of itself back. It's just so good. It adds itself back to the deck, or back to the hand from drop zone. This card is phenomenal, and you have to run it if you're playing Shadows. We run 4 draw trigger, the ones with the 10k shield, and then we run 8 Keter since it's a 10k trigger. We run 2 copies of the bind and soul charge counter charge for G guarding heals, and then we run 2 copies of affectionate harp angel, where if you go second or if you go first and your opponent strides before you, this is a 20k shield. So we're running that. This deck is really fun. You have a lot of combos during the battle phase that you can do, and it's just really cool that we can run something similar. Let's see here. Then we'll go into the G zone. Another thing too is that when you're retiring for units, she counts as Cloudnet counts as 2 rear guards. I did not mention that, but that is the main deck. And now onto the G zone. We run 2 copies of Spectral Blaster Diablo. They brought back Spectral Duke. He's a stride. I love this card so much. This card is so cool. So enact skill. Soul Blast 1, choose a face down card in your G zone, turn it up, and choose one of your rear guards and retire it. So then he'll gain the skill GB3, Counter Blast 2, choose 2 of your rear guards and retire it, and at the end of the battle that this unit attacked, you may pay the cost, stand this unit, and this unit gets drive -2. So he will perform 4 drive checks in 1 turn. If you have a hard card with Diablo, you search your deck for a grade 1 and call it to rear and shuffle the deck, which you will have a hard card with Diablo, so his skill will always be live. But restanding, grade 4, really strong. We run 2 copies of Dragabyss Lord. He's kind of like your first stride, pretty much. Soul Blast 1, choose a face down card with the same name as this unit and retire it, and choose one of your rear guards and retire it. You search your deck for up to 2 grade 1 cards, call them to separate rear, shuffle the deck, and the 2 called units have ritual. choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. GB3, Ritual X, all your front row units get 10,000 power for every 4 grade 1 cards in your drop zone. Really strong. There's no ritual units, so you really won't be retiring with this guy, but both early game and late game, really strong card. We run 2 copies of Helheim. This card is sick. Choose a face down card with the same name as this unit and turn it face up. If a Sentinel, a G Guardian, or a G Guardian is placed on your opponent's Guardian circle, or when this unit's attack hits a Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, search your deck for up to the same number of grade 1 less cards that you have face up in your G zone and call them to rear. So he could call a full board if you call him late enough, but normally you're going to be calling around like 2 or 3, maybe 4. But he's really cool because it really puts your opponent in a bind, because they can't call Sentinels, they can't call G Guardians, and if the attack hits. So that's literally like you have to use cards from hand, or you have to intercept in order for his skill not to go off. So really strong. 2 copies of Aurageyser Dragon. This guy's classic. He's the best he was the best Shadow Paladin Stride for a long time. Counterblast, Soul Blast, and you choose a face down card with the same name. Choose up to 2 of your rear guards, retire them. When this unit attack hits a Vanguard, you may pay the cost. Or when this unit attack hits a Vanguard, you may pay the cost. And if you do, search your deck for up to 2. Look at the top 2 cards of the deck. And for each grade 1 or less card revealed, this unit gets 5,000 power. And you put the cards revealed to hand. So he pretty much gets you 5 cards in hand, just for doing the skill. We run Big Bad himself, PBO. PBO he was a menace. I think this and Novel Vague are the reason why we have G Guardians in the first place. But pretty much, if your opponent cannot retire, then they're gonna have to deal with guarding something pretty strong. So they have to have they have to have a G Guardian, or they're kind of cooked with this unit. So he could be your finisher. He is just a really strong card. He has an axe skill. Once per turn, you choose a face down card with the same name, turn it face up. If the number of cards in your G zone is 2 or more, so technically this is like a GB3, he gets 10,000 power and a critical, and he also gains the red skill, where you choose 3 of your rear guards to retire. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, your opponent chooses 2 of his or her rear guards and retires them. If 2 rear guards are not retired, your opponent cannot call cards from hand to Guardian until the end of that battle. They can still use, in this format, they can still use Elementaria. So Elementaria, unfortunately, just like other PBO, Elementaria beats it. So that's one thing to take into account. Then we run the GB8. We run Dark Knight Agron Vert, or whatever it's called. The GB8 skill is Counterblast 1. You choose up to 5 of your rear guards and retire them. Search your deck for up to the same number of grade 1 or less cards as the number of units retired. Call them to separate rear circles. They gain 15,000 power until the end of turn. You choose the same number of your opponent's rear guards and the number of units called, and retire them and shuffle the deck. So this guy's really strong. I may have butchered the skill a little bit. Sometimes you barely go into this guy because GB8, it's easy to get to, but usually the other strides are just so much better. This is kind of fodder. You could run the this should also be Ultima. Ultima is also just a better option than the GB8, but Ultima is in another deck. But in most cases, you can swap these 2 out. We run 2 copies of Plot Maker. Really strong. He's a 25k shield. You run 2 copies of Dark Veil Dragon, Soul Blast 1. He gets 5k for every 2 grade 1s in your drop zone, so really strong. And Witch Queen of Inquity Gelido. GB1, you flip up a G Guardian and you choose 2 of your grade 1 or less rear guards, move into Guardian Circle. And if you move 2, you draw. So she lets you build up your drop zone, as well as letting you draw cards during the middle of the battle phase. So really strong card. This deck is this deck is super fun. I can't really complain. This deck is It's got a lot of cool little combos that you can do, especially with 2 units. This right here, as well as Claudna, are the dynamic duo for this deck. Because if you retire this to call out a Blaster Dark, and then you retire this for the cost of a Vanguard, now Blaster Dark can perform Twin Drive. So in most cases, even though you're doing, you're adding up to 5 cards to the hand per turn, or 4, with Blaster Dark on the field, you can also perform Twin Drive. So that also adds more cards and more drive checks to do, which is really cool. You do have to discard a card for Blaster Dark, but usually you're not really losing out on much. But yeah, that's the deck profile. If you guys liked it, please comment down below if you guys want to see more D Premium. I have actually been thinking of a D Premium deck with Liela Morta, and taking advantage of her being able to put bound units back into the deck. But yeah, that is pretty much the deck profile. And I hope you guys liked it. Thank you so much.